President Jacob Zuma challenges South Africans to have an open discussion on racism. The South African Communist Party calls on President Jacob Zuma to cut ties with the Gupta family. Hello and welcome to it. You're watching eNews Direct. I'm Tutuzile Ramela.
And I'm Sandile Gangose. Good evening.
To comment on any of our stories, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct.
And today's hashtags are Human Rights Day and Not in My Name.
And we start with this. President Jacob Zuma is urging South Africans to openly discuss racism. He delivered the official Human Rights Day message at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban. Now, today marks the day when 69 people were killed in Sharpeville while protesting against the 1960 pass laws. Under the theme, South Africa United Against Racism, Zuma says the country has a long way to go to eliminate racial prejudice.
The call is simple. South Africans must unite to create a non-racial and prosperous country for all. President Jacob Zuma says explosions of anger experienced earlier this year are a stark reminder that white supremacy still exists.
We know that the minority of South Africans harbor racism and racial discrimination.
Zuma says such ideals entrenched in society by successive white governments must be challenged.
It is of critical importance to end the denial and the tendency to downplay accusations of racism and undertake defensive stances.
The president says although apartheid left untold damage, which will take decades to reverse, government is working towards a more democratic South Africa. Among the several government campaigns aimed at tackling racism and xenophobia is a draft hate speech bill, which will be tabled before Parliament later this year. Judith Subban, Durban.
Meanwhile, in Gauteng, Human Rights Day commemorations were marked by political divisions. The Pan-Africanist Congress again accused the Gauteng provincial government of hijacking what it sees as its significant day in history. But government says the official event was open to all parties.
A salute to fallen heroes. Members of the PAC honoring those who lost their lives on the 21st of March 1960, followed by tributes from Gauteng government officials and the families of victims. Among those present is Margaret Salanyane. She lost her mother on that fateful day.
This day brings me pain. Even before coming here, I had to take pills to relieve the stress. I have not forgiven those who did this.
After 3 days, they would say, Hambani.
Thomas Masilo holds the very book that he protested against back when he was 16 years of age. 3 of his family members lie here.
I survived by lying flat on the ground at 2 o'clock when it happened, when Colonel Pinar commanded the police to shoot.
A powerful image, residents recreating the events of the day of bloodshed and violence. The commemoration did not pass without friction. PAC members say government left them out of the main program for the day, and they forced their way into this memorial center.
Sharpeville Day belongs to the PAC, and we hold a view that can't be Human Rights Day. It's a PAC Day.
I had made this appeal that political parties want to do their own things, but when they are done, they should join us. And we will be very pleased to have them join us, because we don't want to take it from them.
2 PAC fractions ultimately held separate gatherings from the main program, while the Gauteng government used the occasion to call for unity in South Africa and for citizens to fight against racism. Zikhona Chona, Sharpeville.
In other news, the South African Communist Party wants President Jacob Zuma to terminate his relationship with the Gupta family. The party's Deputy General Secretary Solly Mapaila told the South African Clothing and Textile Workers Union bargaining conference in Cape Town today. The call comes after the ANC's NEC meeting this past weekend.
This 5-day South African Clothing and Textile Workers Union bargaining conference wrapped up with the SACP's Solly Mapaila applauding the ANC National Executive Committee after its meeting this past weekend. Mapaila also applauded Deputy Minister of Finance Mcebisi Jonas for speaking out against members of the Gupta family who allegedly offered him a cabinet post. He congratulated the ANC NEC for creating an opportunity for those who wish to follow in Jonas's and former MP Fakey Mentor's footsteps.
The NEC statement could have gone deeper. Nonetheless, we welcome the statement. It should not be that when they've met, you doubt what's going to come out because you think, whose ideas are they going to portray in public now? Are these the ideas of the Guptas or the Ruperts?
Mapaila went on to congratulate the NEC for calling out ANN7 and the New Age, media interests owned by the Guptas.
We want to congratulate the movement for taking up this matter, for engaging with it, and to deal with the lies perpetrated by the ANN7 grouping, who portrayed us as anti-president, because they are part of the factions themselves. They are generating factions in the African National Congress.
Mapaila says the union has never called for the recall of President Jacob Zuma. Instead, it has urged the president to cut ties with the Gupta family and launch a commission of inquiry into the so-called corporate capture of government. And urged workers at the conference not to create divisions within the party during local government elections. Atim Tongana, Cape Town.
Well, this weekend's ANC National Executive Committee meeting has left President Jacob Zuma in a weakened position. That's according to at least one analyst. The NEC resolved to investigate embarrassing claims that the wealthy Gupta family had offered its members cabinet positions. The meeting took place amid explosive claims by former MP Fakey Mentor and Deputy Finance Minister Mcebisi Jonas.
The ANC has to work quickly to repair the damage done by this week's revelations. While many are calling for President Jacob Zuma to be recalled, one analyst believes it won't be that easy.
Jacob Zuma is not the only one implicated in this scandal. There are other beneficiaries. Based on what Matamile Dlamini said, it could be half of the NEC. Right, so that's about, a big chunk of the ANC. So you don't embark on something with such damaging implications for the party. You have to be very careful about what you do.
And Letiana says Secretary General Gwede Mantashe's call for more officials to come forward is a step in the right direction. But not everyone is convinced.
I don't think anyone actually will go within the ANC structures and raise this issue because of the idea that actually it is not the state that has been captured, it is the ANC that has been captured.
The battle lines have been drawn, and neither the president nor the Guptas are likely to go down without a fight. Narissa Subramani, Johannesburg.
A quick look at world news now, and US President Barack Obama has called his trip to Cuba a historic opportunity in his first comments after becoming the first serving US leader to visit the state in almost 90 years. The three-day visit is a high point in the warming relations between the two countries, which included the re-establishment of diplomatic missions last year. Obama is meeting Cuban President Raul Castro, but not Fidel Castro, the retired leader of the Cuban Revolution. The International Criminal Court has convicted former Congolese Vice President Jean-Pierre Bemba of war crimes and crimes against humanity. He was charged with commanding a militia that went on the rampage in neighboring Central African Republic more than a decade ago. The verdict focused on the responsibility of a military commander for the actions of his troops. Bemba, the highest-ranking political leader ever to face judgment before the ICC, was arrested in 2008. And the Russian court is expected to find a Ukrainian pilot guilty of helping to kill 2 Russian journalists. The case has been condemned as a show trial by Ukraine and some Western countries. Nadia Savchenko is accused of directing the artillery fire in which the pair died. She was captured by pro-Moscow rebels in eastern Ukraine during the separatist conflict there in June 2014. Let's take you straight to the sports desk now, where Sandile is standing by, and the coveted Player of the Week award is coming up. Sandile?
The hand over to Duduzile to see what's happening on social media.
Thank you so much, Sandile. And very busy, of course. Today, South Africa marks Human Rights Day, and social media is awash with related conversation. And in line with this, we asked you if you think South Africans fully understand their human rights as enshrined in the Constitution. And so far, these are the responses: 12% optimistic, saying that they do indeed, while 64% of the respondents saying I don't think so. Well, 12% saying what rights, and another 12% simply asking themselves, well, who cares? In other news and entertainment news now, South African DJ and producer Black Coffee has left many people in the United States raving about his musical talent with the vinyl. The popular DJ was seen with US rapper Sean Combs, famously known as P. Diddy, at a party in Miami. On Sunday, he called P. Diddy his motivator via an Instagram post. What a legend, right? Remember to comment on any of our stories. You can check us out on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct, or head on over to our website. That's eNCA.com/direct. After the break, your business news as well as your detailed weather forecast. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Money Matters now. And among the scores of African entrepreneurs in New York City, one man is creating huge waves with a device born from the chaos of Hurricane Sandy. Tanzanian-born Mek Kalfan has developed a high-end portable charger that he hopes will one day help power the world. Lorna Shadik looks at how this businessman has stood out with a product that helps you stand out.
Mek Kalfan, a Tanzanian, a New Yorker, and the man behind this device, seen at the latest Victoria's Secret fashion shows. The Puku portable charger is a marriage of high power and high fashion, and it's aimed at tech-savvy trendsetters. But the former software engineer says it's what's inside that matters.
But this one was different because first they look nice, feel and touch is beautiful. And secondly, you can rely on it. We build everything with high quality material.
The Puku S8, named after a hardy African antelope, sells for $99 and packs quite a punch.
This is the fuchsia pink version of the Puku S8. It's pretty small, it's pretty light, and it's got 8,000 milliamp hours of charge in it. Now, for the not so tech savvy like me, that means when you're running out of juice on your iPhone 6, when you're wandering around New York City, you can plug this in and you've got up to 3 full charges from this one device.
Kalfan says demand's been exceeding expectations since the company launched in 2013. But this fancy device was conceived as a matter of practicality, inspired by Hurricane Sandy, when the power in New York went out.
When the hurricane happened, we couldn't able to charge our phones. I was living in a tall building, and the entire building was dark, and we couldn't live up there without our phone actually charged.
Kalfan's also taking Puku home to Africa, where he wants to make it more affordable.
Africa is a place where, no doubt that they need power the most.
Puku's already been introduced in Tanzania, Nigeria and South Africa, and the company's looking to expand into Asia and Europe. Lorna Shadik, New York.
Let's check in with the Weather Centre now. Here's Joel Guy.
Happy Human Rights Day, everyone, and welcome to the Weather Center. We stayed with clear skies throughout Monday across much of the country, but further south, we have this cold front which is passing over the southern waters but pushing rain clouds into the southern areas and across southeastern South Africa, where we could stay with light rain and drizzle overnight. Then on Tuesday, a southwesterly breeze is going to be controlling the weather over southeastern South Africa, and so rain and thunder showers are forecast in these areas highlighted here, including the southeastern parts of the Eastern Cape. The rest of South Africa is It's going to be mostly sunny, although we're going to see high-level cloud creeping into parts of the Western Cape. Now, we are expecting KwaZulu-Natal to be mostly cloudy with light rain for much of your Tuesday, and temperatures will lie mostly in the lower to mid-20s across much of the province. We are going to have light rain and drizzle as well for Port St. John's and East London. The rest of the Eastern Cape is going to be dry with temperatures in the lower to mid-20s. It gets warmer as we go towards the western parts of the Western Cape. High-level cloud across much of the province. Cape Town, Worcester and Langaban all peaking at around 28 degrees. Sunny and warm weather is forecast for much of the Northern Cape. Rather cold, however, overnight for the southern areas. Sutherland dropping to around 2 degrees tonight. We are also expecting a rather cold night across much of the Free State, but warm in the afternoon. Mild, however, for Bethlehem with a high of just 22 degrees. Thunder showers are forecast for the eastern half of the northwest. Mahikeng peaking at around 30 in the afternoon. We are expecting thunder showers as well for the western parts of the Limpopo province. Light rain and drizzle across the eastern areas. Eastern Mpumalanga could also see light rain and drizzle. Thunder showers for the western areas, extending into Gauteng in the afternoon, where Pretoria will peak at around 26 degrees. On Wednesday, we are going to see showers over the central parts of the country. Then on Thursday, light rain and drizzle sets in around George, and thunder showers will persist over the central areas.
Thank you, Joel. After the break, honours are plenty for big and small screen stars at the 10th anniversary of the South African Film and Television Awards. Entertainment news now, and stars of the big and small screen were honoured at the 10th anniversary of the South African Film and Television Awards last night.
They were indeed. It was celebrated under the theme of commitment to growth and development of the industry, and it took place at Gallagher Estate in Midrand. Let's take a look at some of those highlights.
South African actress Nomhle Nkonyeni has appeared in numerous television productions. After being honoured with a Lifetime Achievement Award, she recollected some of her career highlights.
There's so many productions which I did. It takes a lot of emotions. You put yourself in the shoes of that person.
Fulu Mugovani won her first SAFTA in the Best Achievement by a Lead Actress. This was for a role in Ayanda, a movie where award-winning actress Terry Petu debuted as a producer.
I'm feeling so happy, I'm feeling so blessed, I'm feeling humbled, excited, all those emotions packed in one. I never thought I'd feel this.
And ETV's Rhythm City bagged the SAFTA for Best TV Soapy. One of the stars of the series, Samkelo Ndlovu, tells us about the preparation that goes into producing the show.
You know, being one with your co-stars, and when I say one, I don't mean physically, I mean one in a way that, you know, you can bounce off each other very easily and your on-screen chemistry is real.
For the first time this year, the Special Recognition Awards were introduced at the South African Film and Television Awards. We caught up with one of the winners, Rulani Baloy, co-host of youth talk show Shift.
It just made me feel that there's more that's expected of me in the broadcasting industry, and I have to work even harder.
This award was created for the benefit of people with disabilities within the industry.
Here's a reminder of the day's top stories before we say goodbye. President Jacob Zuma challenges South Africans to have an open discussion on racism. The South African Communist Party calls on President Jacob Zuma to cut ties with the Guptas. That's your Human Rights Day edition of eNews Direct.
It is indeed. Until next time, good night.
Bye.